Okay, so this is looking at FIF 4, 6, and 9, where we are going to identify key features and compare linear functions. We're looking at active questions 3, 12, 30, and 35 from the 2018 North Carolina Math 1 released EOC test items. So looking at question number 3, it says, what is the distance in units between the y-intercept of f of x is equal to x squared plus 7x minus 18, and the y-intercept of a linear function that passes through the point shown in the table below. All right, so first of all, I want to know what the question is asking. It wants the y-intercept. I know my y-intercept is always an x value of 0. Y is some number. And I know that my constant part of my linear or quadratic equation is always going to be the y-intercept. So let's look at it. What is the constant part of the quadratic equation I'm given? Well, that's negative 18. So I know for this particular equation, my y-intercept is going to be at 0, negative 18. Oh, that's terrible writing. And I know my writing generally isn't that great anyway, but I can do a little bit better. Okay, so that's going to be 0, negative 18. And let's look at the equation here. Okay, so for this particular equation that's represented by this graph, I'm going to do a little handwritten work in order to calculate that, or I can put it in my graphing calculator to come up with the equation. So here we go. Let's get started with that part. All right, so we have the slope, we have the y-intercept here, and then we're going to find the slope for the points. So I have negative 15 here. Positive 15 is the change from negative 5 to 10, and the change from 2 to 11 is 9. So I'm going to turn that into a fraction. My change in y over my change in x is going to give me the slope. So I have 9 over 15, which is equal to 3/5. I'm going to take 3/5, which is my slope, and I'm going to multiply it by a given x value of 10 here. And then I know that 3/5 times 10 plus some b value should equal 11, because that's the y value. All right, so when we do the math, we get 30 over 5 plus b equals 11. So 6 plus b should be 11. I'm going to subtract 6 on both sides, so my b value is 5. Okay, now because I know that my y-intercept is always going to be 0, some y value, I'm going to take my slope 3/5, multiply it times 0 plus 5, because that's the b value we found, should equal my y. Once I do the math, anything times 0 is 0, so 0 plus 5 equals y, 5 is equal to y, and then I'm going to add those two things together. In that case, I'm going to end up with 23 as my answer. So that is the distance between the two, 23.